Good evening, ladies. Welcome back.
Good
Uh,
evening.
Good
Hi.
evening.
You have a great day today.
Yeah, it's wet, but we can't complain.
Well, saying that we had really good weather, so it's something that we're really blessed with. So it's really good weather we're getting. But let me see. I'm just looking at the pages here. So today we're going to talk about empowering children, I think, because I know France you wrote a book on how to bring up amazing children, and Annalika, you have, I mean, Fran, you've got children as well. I mean, I never even asked you, you've got children. You have. Annalika, I definitely know you have quite lovely kids there as well. And myself, I've got one. But today is about the topic is to empower children, especially at this time, last year or so. Obviously, children are being affected by what's been happening. I think we thought just maybe share some tips how to empower children, how to kind of give them more motivation, more kind of, help them kind of period of things that's been happening, and also for the future, guide them in a direction that will help them in their life. So, Anilika, let you go first. I know that you've got children. How many kids have you got?
4.
4?
Yeah, my oldest is 10, youngest is 4.
Oh, that's
So 4, so 4, 6, 8, 10.
Fran, how about you? Yourself?
I've got 3.
3. And what's the age of your children?
11, 9, 7.
Well, that's lovely. Lovely age. And myself, I've just got one who's 22. So I'm
That's a big boy.
a big boy.
That's a man.
Do you know what? We're going to talk about children empowering. Doesn't matter what age they are. Could be 6 months or 3 months to like 40 years old. Forget our voice. Children are children. Mothers are mothers. We look at our kids. Doesn't matter what age they are. But this is going to help people when they're watching this, how to empower children. And Fran, what is the few things that you think children are maybe going through at the moment? Some of the stuff that they may be emotionally going through at the moment. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely children are going through a lot of emotional feelings. They're having a lot of trauma, especially because of the pandemic we are facing now. Some of them don't understand it. When you're talking to them, they find it difficult to understand it. The younger ones, for example, you tell them they are not going to school when they were still at home, they'll be like, so do you mean we are not going to a real school? I just want to go to a real school. I don't want this online schooling. You see, it's very difficult for them to understand what is happening. So a lot of emotional feelings there. So we need to talk with them all the time. You don't want to leave them all by themselves.
That's
you don't
right.
want to leave them to be depressed. When you come to the young adults, that's much more difficult for them to cope in this difficult condition because they can't understand why they won't go to the shop to buy things they need. They can't understand why they won't go to meet up with their friends. And you want them to be stuck online. So that's a lot passing through their head, their memory, their brain. They find it difficult to put things together to know why they are in this type of condition. So a lot of emotional feelings, a lot of trauma, a lot of shock, a lot of thinking. That's why I encourage every parent, try to be positive. Try to be positive with your children. Try to seek positivity. Sometimes I know parents get angry because of one thing or the other, but I encourage us to be calm with them because they are passing through a lot.
Definitely, yeah. And Anelika, what's your thoughts? I mean, I know you've got children as well. I mean, what stuff have you seen your children go through in the last year or so? Definitely. Maybe get you back on, Anelika.
Yeah, I'm on. Sorry, I just shared on the Facebook. Yeah, like Francisca has said, is thank God we're back. You know, we're back to schools because it was really difficult trying to help them cope, not going anywhere because the parks were all shut and everywhere was closed. But now gradually we getting back to the parks, going, you know, things are looking normal. I think like she said, that conversation is good. Because they ask a lot of questions. We don't just push them aside or say I'll get it later. So just dealing with each question when they answer it, trying to help them understand, I think makes a lot of sense to them. And for me, I'm a Christian, so again, there's a lot faith. Our faith does a lot and to inspire hope into them. So no matter how bad things were, they always knew that they had God, and God, everything is going to be fine. And come what may, that all things are working together for their good. So they always have that faith. Yeah, because at that time that was all we had, isn't it? Because your immune system and God, that's, you know. So and yeah, the hygiene, teaching them really, because when there's lack of information, there's a lot of fear. But when you have the more information you have, you kind of substitute faith with fear. You know, the fear goes down because now you know what to do, you know what's happening. So yeah, that's what we keep doing. Keep talking with them, keep showing them, not just saying, but also, you know, you yourself, you're showing that you're not afraid, and you're working in faith, and you're doing the things that we need to do, because that's all we can do. You know, do the right things at the right time, and whatever happens, we just have to keep moving on. And they've been fine. Yeah.
I know, Anelika, that I know obviously I've known you for a while, and I know that you know, you do a lot for your children in a sense of keeping them in a kind of positive state. I've seen that myself. But you're right. I mean, children, Fran mentioned, you know, they're going through a lot of emotional stuff, especially changing the way they study and going online and not mixing with their friends at school. They can't go, and the rules and all that's changed, and seeing teachers behaving or doing certain things, and the school set, you know, layout changing, and you have to do this way now, you have to follow this, and it's so confusing for children, and not able to interact with their friends, and, you know, can't hug and can't do this, and it's a lot for children. And I personally think there's a lot of the emotional mental health issues in the future for children, because the changes that has happened for the last more than a year, and it's going to affect children emotionally. And this is why it's so important, like Fran, you know, you mentioned, you know, you've got a book out, which is very important for parents to get some guidance on how, you know, what direction, how to assist or empower the children to stay happier, to stay positive and stuff like that. But I think what's happened, there's a lot of children have been, you know, obviously emotionally affected, and maybe the parents don't know. Unlike Anelika, who knows, and Fran yourself know what to do. Maybe there's some parents I kind of don't really know what to do. You know, they're a bit confusing. You know, things have changed, and my children are affected, and he or she's behavior changed due to all the changes that's happened. And it's a bit scary, you know. Lucky for me, I mean, my child is not small, you know, and I would have made decisions totally different to parents who are making decisions now. I would have done that's because that's my choice. I would have made decisions totally different. But having obviously even a teenager or so on, even you can see teenagers, behavior changing because of what, the changes that's happening around us. So our children is our future. So it's very important for us to guide them in the right direction, help them, support them, and empower them. So Fran, you said, you're the lady who wrote a book, last year, and who, wrote How to Raise Amazing Children. I would love to know what empowered you to produce a book. What kind of did you have this impulse or something that you have had for years to write a book about this topic?
Thank you for the question. Yeah, what empowered me was it was a passion project, actually, because I'm passionate about family, anything about family, both their finance, how they raise their kids, their marital relationship, their healthy being. I'm so passionate about it. And growing up, I was the one that took care of my younger ones, and they took care of even my grandmom. So, and that passion, that care, is just like inbuilt in me, because I've taken care of a lot of children, my younger ones, my auntie's children, and they, having lived with families that is not my own mother and father, and I took care of their own kids while growing up. I learned a lot, and I love children, and I've worked with parents as well, both academically. Professionally, I'm a teacher. So I've come across children in every level in my life, and I embrace them. I like talking to them. I like playing with them, and I interact a lot with parents as well. Through interaction with parents, I get to know some other things. Maybe I haven't been to their family, but through interaction, I gather a lot of information, and I know a lot about how parents feel, about how children feel, both from the school point of view, both from the family point of view. In the church, I also work in the children department. So I'm just like a child myself. So when I behave, most of the things I do, I just bring myself to their own standard, because you couldn't get them. You couldn't get them to do what you want them to do exactly if you don't bring yourself to their own level. So each of the time, I try to bring myself to their level. So that was a passion project, because I've seen so many things about them. And most times, I don't know to say, maybe I'm lucky or gifted that I come across parents that maybe sometimes they approach me to ask me one thing or the other. And I would say I've been a blessing to them. And I thought just talking to each parent one at a time is okay. But at a time, I thought it would be good to put some of these points in a book, so that people from anywhere, far and wide, they can read it and be enriched with information. So that was what made me to write that book.
Wow, that is amazing. Obviously you've got a lot of experience working with children, and just putting and I love the way you mentioned, bringing yourself to their level, because I think what happens is, as adults, we kind of look down at children and say, you need to do this and that. And children look up, and I don't know if you remember. I remember when I used to look up. I mean, you could see, we feel that the adults are dominant, but I think we need to understand that children kind of think in a different way. But if you interact, and I love children, and I've always got on with children, and for some reason, they got on with me. And the reason I think personally what I do is as you, Fran, was saying, go to their level and understand what they may be thinking at that age, whatever age they are. Obviously this children grow up and teenage and everything changes, and using words and communication in their level, what they understand is so important, because using long and certain words that they may not understand. I think children love adults who are children themselves, so they kind of interact very, very well. So Annalika, how do you interact with your children? Do you feel that you're a child sometime around them, or do you have to be that adult, or do you want to, or you need to be a parent?
Yeah. Like Fran says, I didn't know that, but I also teach the so, and the class I like is actually the very little ones, 2 to 7. So yeah, when I'm in that position, yeah, I do a lot of fun stuff. I'm actually, I feel like a 5-year-old myself, because you have to say the things they would understand. You have to be, extra in being dramatic, the way you talk, the way you read, and things like that. So I understand what she's trying to say. But yeah, if I'm reading a story to the children, of course, even at home, I am like them. I am trying to change the characters and use my different voices, even like animals and things like that. But when it comes to also being a parent, I can be very strict. I try not to be too strict. I think my husband is a bit softer. It's not like I'm so harsh, but I want to discipline them, so you don't play all the time, especially when you're talking about something very serious. You want them to pay attention or to understand. So you remove all the play. I'm like, am I smiling? I usually say to them, I'm serious now, so let's stop the play. So when it's time to play, yeah, I'm a big child. When it's time to be a mom, I can also, be strict, because there's a lot of work for parents, with social media, with so many negative influences. It's like constantly reprogramming, because children, their brain is like empty, isn't it? So whatever comes in. So I think you have to be intentional with what you want them to retain in their program. It's like constantly the school is trying to program them a certain way. The media is trying to program, the community is trying to program a certain way. But at the end of the day, we have the power, because we have them most of the time. So whatever they gather, anywhere they go and they come, you have to set the right program. It's like constantly always trying to check what is in there and how to reset, what you want them to retain. So being an example, I play with them, like they love cooking as well. So they like doing things with me, I've noticed, but most times I'm busy. But I because I know they like spending time with us adults, because I think they learn. But I try to start making out time to do those things, run about, do the cooking, the baking, and play, and so many things. So yeah, I thank God I can work from home, because otherwise, that was one of the reasons that made me take the decision to work from home, really. So yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think that's what we're doing. I mean, we all work from home and able to spend time with children, our own families and children. But Fran, now in your book, How to Raise Amazing Children, now give us some tips on how do you raise amazing children? What tips have you put in the book? We'd love to know some. I'm sure our people are watching want to know some of the tips that you've been sharing in the book.
Yeah, some of the tips is that what you want your children to learn, any good character you want them to possess, you also have to practicalize it, because they copy a lot. They copy a lot. For example, if you're the type that nag all the time with your husband, your children are going to learn how to nag. So if you don't want them to learn, try to maintain. And if you're the one that tell lies, they will also learn. So whatever you want your children to learn, try to show them by example. Again, try to division of labor in the house. Try to get them to do something. Don't think that they are child all the time. Otherwise, they will become handicapped. And in the day you will be thinking that they are old enough, it will be too late. So no matter the age of your child, try to let them do something. And some people say they don't speak to their children because they think they are so little. But even a baby in the tummy can hear you. Speak to them. Tell them what you want. They are hearing you. And again, you know the way when they are studying, maybe you are on your own, you just leave them alone. You just leave them to do the study all by themselves. That's okay, but not very okay. As parents, we should be closer to them and know what help they are really needing. And sometimes parents need to make time for their children. Don't be too busy, either with work or with conversation, leaving them all by themselves. No, parents need to make time for them, because there is time for everything. The way you make out time for yourself, try to make out time for your own children. Like Enrica rightly mentioned about the social media, is a big issue at the moment, because in school, we can understand that even the homework, they are no longer in paper, they are no longer in hard copy. Everything is online at the moment. Maybe they say because of coronavirus. So before the coronavirus, your child would come home with a textbook for reading, and you will be sitting by your child to listen how they read, depending on the school of your child anyway. But at the moment, everything is online. They do every single thing. So if you're not very careful, they are going to deviate. They are going to leave what they are doing to do something else. And that is why we need to be vigilant. That is why we need to be closer to them. Though they teach them about cyber security at school, though they know about cyber security, but still, like Enrica said, their brain is just empty. They don't think about too much like we adults. So you need to guide them. So that's another thing. You need to guide your children step by step. What is that thing you want them to know? Now, they are doing their homework with internet, with online. Try to keep an eye and know, are they actually doing that homework? They are playing a game. Try to know what type of game do they play. They are watching cartoon. Try to know what type of cartoon do they watch. So keep a close eyes to what your children are doing. Now, we said that parenting is a serious business. Some of us maybe don't know it's a serious business because it takes a lot for you to parent your child. And that is why we need to be intentional about what we actually want them to know. Because parenting is a serious business, it's an expensive business. So you need to give them attention, because if you are not taking too much, if you're not giving too much attention to them, definitely you will miss your target. So it is very, very important, because sometimes we'll be like, oh, I've had enough for today. For example, you're going to drop off your child to school in the morning, or you're going to pick up your child and you are on your phone. speaking. That's not nice. Parents should be guided. That time for dropping off and picking up your child, you should do them with clear understanding of what you're doing, because sometimes you'll be on the phone and you even forget that you're picking up a child. So know when to talk and when not to talk, especially when you are with your child. When you are dropping off your child in school, keep up that phone and try to say bye to your child and speak. Because some will be on the phone and you just be waiting for that child. That's not it. So definitely some of the tips in the book, just letting you know how to handle them, and even the teenagers as well, because some of them, they just want to go by blind, you know. Some of them, they start growing up and they're telling you, I want Nike, I want Gucci. Now they know the name of things. But if you can't afford it, don't just because they said it, you need to explain to them. They need to understand why you cannot afford such things. You don't let your children lure you into what you cannot afford, or lure you into debts, borrowing. So you need to learn how to communicate with your child, speak to them, advise them in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. If the family that prays together, take that time off to speak to them, encourage them, read the Bible. The family that also read the Bible, like Kanreka says, she's a Christian. I'm a Christian. In my own family, we read the scripture, we try to discuss it, and they try to live by it. So let us practicalize those things we want our child to grow up to.
So thanks, Fran, for those tips. I know that people could actually buy your book on Amazon. Maybe you could share that. But you're right. I think communication is the key. I think we need to communicate with our children and listen as well what they're saying. Sometimes we're too busy with doing other things, and we just might pick up what they're saying and then go back to doing other things. And they might try to explain things, and children pick that up. So having time with them and sitting down with them. One of the things, few of the things I've kind of over the years I've done, many years ago when my son was 5 years old, I actually read a book. I used to work in social work for 14 years, and I used to work with people one-to-one basis. And I was kind of picking up various things, and one of the things I wanted to know more, I actually bought a book, and one of the things was about children communication, and I can implemented the hugging process. When a child used to get angry or frustrated, my son, I used to kind of grab him, hug him tightly, and used to let go and relax, and the anger used to go away. So one thing I found that hugging doesn't matter boy or girl, hugging was really good for a child, feeling loved, because I think children, they think they're not being listened to, or the parents are too busy, they feel they're not loved. So communication is important. And one of the things I personally used to do is have time put aside, and we should watch TV together and get the cushions and pillows, and that was the time together, on the sofa, and cuddle and get the popcorn going. That was the time. So all those wee things I can implement. So it's obviously what you mentioned is that also Annalika mentioned the social media at the moment, and children are in a technology world. They are drawn into it. You can't get away from it, unfortunately. But obviously, exposing them to that depends, if it's 24 hours a day, it's not good. Obviously they go into school, they're exposed to it, home sometimes, but obviously having a balanced lifestyle, understanding out with the social media, go and play outside, don't play games online, you don't need to be online, go out with friends, or have the spiritual side, balance lifestyle of the spiritual, and create, build the wisdom on that side, and so doing things with them, at home and things like that is important. But you were right, Fran, I was saying, children look up to parents and they mimic everything that parents do. the parents who argue together, and children are very tuned in. They listen and they pick that up. They may not show that when they're younger, but they carry that to their, when they're growing up as adults, as parents, and they do mimic it. So as adults, we need to be aware of how we are reacting or our actions. And you're right, the pregnancy, if you're carrying a child, listens to every single thing we're doing, saying. The child in their tummy, is picking up everything. And in every emotions we're feeling, the child is feeling that as well. So we all, I personally think, as adults, we need to change. We need to become aware of how we're doing things, and then we could actually help the children as well. But there's so many good points Annalika and Fran mentioned. Both of you mentioned. There's so many other things that we could discuss. But Annalika, what 3 important things you would say that, I know you mentioned things about social media, a few things that you do, but can you put in this kind of briefly 3 things that you think is very important to bring up children, happy children?
I think the important thing is yourself, the environment. You have to create that conducive environment for happy children. So you need to be a happy environment, like you said, the hugging, the love. Everybody need love, especially children. Taking important about what I said about the programming, because whatever is happening around them is programming certain things in their minds. If they see a bad marriage, they may be put off marriage for life, but they don't know that's a bad marriage, but they just assume marriage is bad. So I think making sure you have your children in that kind of right environment should be a matter of priority. Environment that is full of love, that is full of enriching information. They need a lot of positive information, because like I said again, I keep saying it is a programming, because whatever is going into them is what they become in the future. A scripture in the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they grow up, they will not depart from it. It's amazing how it happens, but so many times it's when you have grown, things that you didn't even know, you didn't take serious, they are the things that are helping you then. So if we're not intentional about putting in the right programming, they will end up with problems in the future, so struggling with these issues like depression and so many things. It's not bad. It's not like it's the end of the world if somebody have grown with the wrong programming, but I think it gives them a head start if they have actually the right programming, because not everybody are able to reprogram themselves like us, because there's a lot of things you may have to relearn, and they may also have to relearn certain things, because nobody is perfect. But I think doing your best to have the nurturing environment that is full of love, full of positive information, because like I said, the home is the place that have them more than any other place. So we actually have more power to empower them. To empower them. There's a lot, isn't it? Because so many things about giving them the confidence, helping them accept who they are, love themselves. Because when Frank talked about the teenagers, because very soon my children will come to those teenage years. It will be trying to fit in, trying to understand changes in their body. So gradually you just need to keep constantly listening to them, know when to when to give them that information at every time. You don't want to give it. That's one thing I didn't like when they were talking about those starting sex education very early, because not every child is the same development. You need to know not to the information to give at every stage, and you just follow the cues from them, to know from the question they are asking, okay, now is the time to teach them about this. Like how Franz said, you need to be intentional. What do you want them to learn at every point in time? And so, but I think it's from them. And when you talked about reading a book, I think reading a book is very important, because we don't know it all. It's from the research of other people. There's this one about temperament, I think it's Tim Lai or something, but it's a book on temperament about children. So all the children are different. So if you understand their temperament, you can be able to understand how to deal with them. You can be able to guide them better, even discovering their talents, to be able to know, what they like, the sports they like, so that you can guide them to bring out those skills and talent. But there's so much, but I think the best thing is for people to get books, starting with Francisca's book on Amazon.
Definitely, yes. Let's. Fran, I know we haven't got much time, but Fran, give us quickly 3 tips. I know you went through quite a lot. Just 3 kind of top ones you think that parents could maybe put those in practice at home, that they could do at home.
Okay, yeah. Positive praise is important, because most time parents just seem to talk to their children when they go wrong. When they do something, they'll be like they are angry at them. Parents should as well learn how to praise them when they've done the right one. Try to, even a little tip can do as well. Just a hug, a quick smile, a very good name at that time can help as well. Try to encourage them, praise them, give them that praise. They like it. Yes. And again, we should try to know our children as individuals. For example, I have 3 kids. It's my responsibilities to know each and every one of them, because though I have them, but they are not the same. They have different characters. Mm-hmm. They have different manners. So parents should be able to identify what is that personality in your child. What is that character in your child? Do you need to refine anyone? Do you need to help them to build, or do you need to encourage them to deal with something? Maybe there is a threat you see in their life that you know that when they grew up with this, it's going to be hazardous to them. It is our responsibilities to start early to encourage them. For example, if you have got a child that is too emotional, if you have got a child that just got angry at every little thing, if you have just temperamentally, just like what Tanreka said, it's our responsibilities to start to talk to them. And those of us that can pray, we also commit it into prayers as well, as much as we also talk to them, encourage them, tell them the advantages and disadvantages of what they are doing. So it will help them as well to grow up into that lady, into that young man that you are expecting to see in them. And again, coming to about the signs in their body, I encourage parents, try to speak to your children. Like I say, you know them, you observe them, you know what they are expected to know at a particular stage. Try to educate them. Tell them what life is all about. Tell them about the changes in their body, the puberty, the adolescent. Some of us, we find this topic as an awkward topic. It is not any awkward at all. It is our responsibilities to discuss it with them. because if you don't discuss it with them at the right time, they will go out there and they will learn it in the wrong way and you won't like it. So it's better you discuss things with them so that when they go outside and they hear about it, they know, oh, mommy told me about that. Okay, oh, I know about it. Because if they don't know about it, if they are just total novice about what they have supposed to have known since, it's not going to be very funny with them and even with you. And those of them that are outspoken will come back home and ask you a question and be ready to answer the question. Sometimes children, they ask a lot of questions, and because I met with a parent who told me that her child was telling her stuff and she didn't listen. I said, why? He said, hey, why would she listen to that story have nothing to do with her? I said, no, but you need to listen to her because that child is feeling like communicating with you. You see, you have to listen. And if you have any contribution to what that child is saying, you have to contribute. If you don't have, still listen and then ask the child some questions again. Sorry for taking our time, but in the aspect of discussing the science of their body, because it's a difficult topic to most parents, if you don't know where to start by asking them questions. By the time you ask them one question, they will answer it. Maybe they will not take turn to ask you. So just like that, parent-child relationship. So the topic comes up and you discuss it. So try to make your children your friend. Be the best friend of your children. Don't let them be out there looking for friends while you are there in the house waiting for nothing. And try to listen to them. Don't always say, oh, I'm tired, I need to sleep now. Oh, I'm tired, I need to have a rest now. Please make out time for your children.
You're right, Fran, that was amazing. I mean, obviously you got a book out so people could go and buy it on Amazon. But as you said, is finding time for your children. I think that's very important. Communication is very important, and also realizing that not all child is the same. The thing that I find that some people, parents might say, well, he or she, that person child is doing that, you must do the same thing. We shouldn't compare our children with other children. We shouldn't compare our own child with another sibling and all that, because each child got their own personality, own talents, own skill. If a child does really well at school, he or she, the other child may be very creative in another area that might be not, they might not want a degree, but they might be an artist. So we need to respect our children for their own talents and not compare it with other children. I think that's where I personally find the children feel that they need to compete with somebody else's child or something. And I think when parents realize and communicate, saying it's okay who you are, whatever you're doing, making you happy. If they've got a certain skill, and not isolate them saying something's wrong with them, or they might think they're not good enough because another child is doing better. So we need to make sure that child, that's why communication is easy. Child needs to be in a happy place. I know I'm talking from my own experience. My son did not like school, and I decided, no, that's not for him. He left early, but I seen his talent. The school didn't give him that. He didn't have what he needed. So I supported him. I supported it on that side. I said, oh, do what's right. But after he left school, he's excelled far better than any school, university would have. They would never have offered him what he knows now. He's far excelled beyond, an adult beyond his age, because he's learned stuff for himself. He's self-taught. To be he's more of an entrepreneur. School does not teach about certain things like being an entrepreneur, to be honest with you. So you need to. So that's what I mean. we need to see every child as a different skills and abilities, and we need to support them around that. So that's, I think, it's so important. As you, Franway, said, communication is very important, you know, and so they feel very comfortable and knowing that they're loved. Doesn't matter, you know, who they are, what they are loved. The most important thing, they are loved no matter what they feel, you know. So that's I think every child, I feel, needs love, you know. And if they know they love, they open up, you know, they open up easily. And so that's my view on some. I mean, we could go on and on about it, but so Fran, quickly tell me name of the book and where do you buy it, and is it Kindle, is it in the hard copies people can get? Just give me quickly in 2 minutes if you want to.
Yeah, the name of the book is The Parenting Guide You Need to Raise Amazing Children.
Okay.
It is on Amazon. Both the hard copy and the ebook is on Amazon. It's on, digital.
So, digital. So can you put? I mean, I'm sure if anybody wants to buy it, I'm sure if they go to your page, you could maybe put a link to it or something above the video of the show, and I'm sure they could maybe put, you know, Amazon link or something, maybe on the comment, maybe below in the comment if you put a link, and I'm sure people would maybe link and go and buy it. But please, you know, go and buy Fran's book. I mean, if you Fran's got a lot of experience about children, how to raise amazing children, and I'm sure we all will benefit from it, from reading that. But if you feel you're stuck, if you feel that you don't know which way to go with your children and you know, a bit confused, you know, give us one of us a message. Happy to have a chat with you, and give you a bit of guidance on that. But anyway, ladies, thank you for coming on today. We will be coming on next week. Come on, everybody. Anelika, come on. Yeah.
And don't forget to give your children loads of Mystifier and Phytolife and vitamin D from Synergy.
Yeah, that's exactly as Anelika reminded. We got a lot of, if you give your kids your nutrition, and if you give your kids nutrition, helps with brain health and also help with productivity and everything. So if you want the right nutrition for your children, and Anelika's got access to it, Fran got access as myself, we could help you, kind of guide you in what direction to go with that high quality nutrition for your children. And yeah, if you want more information,
to eat healthy.
Yeah,
to eat healthy so that they don't learn how to eat junk as they grow old, because what they learn now is what they grow with. Yes, right.
Exactly, Fran. But yeah, thank you for coming on, ladies. We will be back next week with another topic. Please join us. We'll be back every week sharing a bit of experience, knowledge to help with your health, well-being, your fitness, your children, your how to improve your mental state, emotion, everything. Any topic there is, we will talk about. And if anybody is there,
how to make more money in your pocket.
Yes, and how to make more money. Let's talk about wealth. Maybe we'll talk the financial wealth. Maybe let's talk about a bit of how to make a bit of money next week. I think people could join us then. We'll talk about how to make a bit of money next week. So anyway, thank you, everybody. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.